Hello. So when I heard that there was going to be a series based on Go Dog Go, I was like, okay, I remember the book and I don't remember there being much of a like narrative story in it. And so I was like super curious to watch the show. And I'm wondering how you guys approach turning a book like Go Dog Go into a series.
Yeah, well, it was certainly the challenge, right? But it was also kind of what drew me to it because the book has this very specific tone and things that are in the same world, but you don't really know why. Why is that? Why are there blimps and hedge mazes and parties and trees? I think that's part of the appeal of the book is that things are kind of incongruous, but they fit. So that was part of the challenge of adapting it was how can I pull in some of those elements and create some of that same tone in a show. But then the fact that it didn't have a traditional storyline was appealing to me because it was kind of an open book, so to speak, about creating it, right? Like you could invent almost any character as long as it fit within that feeling of the book and the world. And I also like the idea that, all these dogs and all these random elements were part of a world. So that creating the town and city of Boston felt like a fun unifying world to place the show in. So it was a fun creative task.
So I think it's really important when you're thinking about preschool programming that there's at least some educational component to it. And I want to know how you guys approach making sure that there was some educational value and what you think kids are going to get from watching Go Dog Go.
Yeah, well, there's one overarching theme for the show, and it was community is really it. We wanted to create a show that modeled a well-running, well-functioning community where dogs welcome new dogs and collaborated on projects and supported each other. I also got the chance to work with somebody named Laura Brown, who is a consultant on a lot of projects that I've worked on, and she helped develop a bit of a community curriculum. It's not as hard of a curriculum as some shows. It's not, we don't drill lessons in, but we do want every episode to be about some aspect of being in a community, whether it's how you relate to your family or your neighbors or teamwork within a organization. So we found it was a broad enough topic that allowed for a lot of offshoots and different positive messaging.
I think music is always such an important part of children's programming. Well, any programming really, but especially in children's programming. And I'm just wondering what inspired the use of an a cappella dogs group.
Yeah, well, it's, part of the charm of the book is that you have all these random characters and you kind of popping in, and there's the lady that comes in and says, "Do you like my hat?" And there's this sense of surprise, I think, with the book. So I liked the idea that the music would have that sense of surprise. That you could be just walking down the street and the Barcappellas just come in and start singing out of nowhere, or if a character needs a song, the Barcappella just happen to be right there. I like the fact that we don't know if they actually can speak a line of dialogue without singing. It almost seems to be like inherent to who they are and their species. So I like all that. And then part of the impetus to make music a big part of the show is, like you said, it's just good music is great in a show. And I have a composing partner named Paul Buckley that I've worked with a lot. And the opportunity to work with him and do something fresh and original with music was also really appealing.
Okay, so I hope this doesn't put you on the spot, but I'm wondering if you had to pick like the one, like, I don't want you to miss this thing. This was my favorite little thing for you to catch when you're watching the series. What would it be?
Huh. Uh, Gosh, I wish I had an answer um, coming to mind. I guess like the finale of this batch of episodes, just because we tried something on the show which was a little experimental. Which it's not a fully serialized show, but we do have one serialized story running through that some of the episodes hit. And so there's this question of which of these competing teams will join the Race Cadets, which is this group of youth racers that Tag desperately wants to be a part of. So I hope kids watch it through to the end and get to see what happens, whether Tag gets in, and if she does, how she gets in. So yeah, I guess I want to see how that little storyline plays for kids.
Awesome. Thank you.